share what's spoken. Maybe there's more than we know.
You have an epic wall behind you, my friend.
Yes. It is all, some are shows that I've actually photographed.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Others are just, records that I love that have shaped my life. Especially that one, Deftones.
1000%, man. Around the Fur was probably one of my most important albums of my youth.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Yeah. And how old are you?
42.
Okay. Same age. So grew up the same, same sort of
era.
Yep. I'm more of a Nintendo and Super Nintendo kind of guy.
That was the thing, dude. I was Nintendo 64, Super Nintendo. Like, I was a cartridge dude. Mm-hmm. I never owned anything past that.
Yeah, me neither. I couldn't. Yeah. So my stepson's all into Xbox and all this stuff, and I'll try to play like Mortal Kombat or something, but other than that, I just stay away from it.
I'm with you, dude. It's like, it's too much. The games are so much more complicated and involved. Mm-hmm. Like, it will literally take up your life.
Yeah, it will. I do know that you and Elias were in a business endeavor, and somehow through those connections is what started y'all two to collab with each other, and you sent him some music. Right. I'd love to hear a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so I had recorded a solo album in 2020 called Black Hole Magic, and it was a lot of fun for me to explore different genres, like mix EDM with rock and with metal, and just go crazy with genre bending stuff. And so I had joined up with Grey Daze, and so I pushed off my solo project Focus, but I still had some songs that I was writing here and there that was intended to be for maybe the next solo project. But I had come in contact with Elias through that music business endeavor that we were both working on. Mm-hmm. And we actually just like connected, dude, on an entrepreneurial level, on a musical level. We both have these legacy projects that we're doing, but we wanted to explore creatively outside of what we were doing. And so it just started making sense. And I was like, dude, I think I might have a song for us to test these waters. And the song was Nothing's Real. Yes. But I had holes in it. Like, there were parts of this song that just weren't done, and I couldn't figure it out. And so I just messaged Elias, and I was like, bro, here, have a listen, see what you could do if you wanted to do anything on this song. And bro, like 20 minutes later, he had recorded his parts, sent it back to me, and like, dude, it just clicked. Have a listen. And exactly what he sent me is what you guys hear on the single. Wow. So it literally, like, it was just supposed to be a single song, but then we're just like, what if we did more stuff? And what if we brought in more people? And what if this turned into an artist collective of different producers, musicians, singers? What would this look like? It'd be like a Wu-Tang Clan of rock and metal. And so that's literally how this project started. Was we just wanted to step outside of our legacy projects and see what kind of, like, just throw spaghetti against the wall and see what stuck.
Yeah, I love that. And who produced it was Chris Collier. He's worked with obviously Nonpoint, Korn. That's huge. And
yeah, we got
every touches is gold.
I agree with you. Chris is amazing, and he really took this song and he brought it to life. I have a producer, a trap EDM producer that helps me with the beats and the structure of the song. And so me and Custom, his name's Custom, we started the process way back, but then I brought in Zach Munowitz, who writes guitars for Filter. We brought in Hugo Riviera, who plays drums for Moonspell. And then icing on the cake was Collier. Like he was able to. Very few producers can mold, so many musicians and so many ideas together, but he crushed it.
Completely agree. The first time I heard the song, I was like, "What is this? This is amazing!" It felt like home. It felt comfortable, but it also took me a little bit out of my element. The genre mixing or whatever.
Yeah.
And I just thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm interested to hear more. And that's sort of a segue into my next question: is there going to be an album, an EP? You sort of talked about a collective, and God, I would even want to know, like, what are some star artists or producers that you would want to collab with?
Yeah. So we already have about 4 or 5 songs in the works, and some of them are almost completely done. Some of them are in the concept phase.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's several different producers that I'm working with. One interesting thing that we found ourselves doing was one of my friends who's a producer for online games. We were talking about games earlier. There's a whole section of people that get their music from online games. League of Legends is a huge that's a huge online game, but it's also like the place that kids go to find their music.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started working with a producer that writes music for games. And he was like, dude, what are you doing with Arcade Assembly? Like, do you think that we could write some music for games? And I was like, yes, that would be actually fantastic.
Yeah.
So we started writing with him, and it's very that's what we're doing with the gaming industry is much more cinematic rather than what you would hear probably on the radio or Octane or something like that. It's definitely more cinematic, but it's still Arcade Assembly. Like, I still think that it could fall into an EP or an album that we may write. I do think that there will be an album in 2025. I think there's going to be live shows in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
How we put it together, because of all the names that are attached, that's going to be the tough one.
Right.
But you asked me who my number one person that I would ever want to collab with, Snoop Dogg.
Yes, you should.
I want to collab, putting it out there in the universe. I want to collab with Snoop Dogg.
Well, I think you just put it in the universe, and I'm going to make it happen for you somehow.
Let's do it, buddy. All right.
Look, he's got Martha Stewart, the Olympics. Why not Arcade Assembly?
Dude, why not? Jump into the rock side, man. The pool is nice and warm.
Yep,
we'll take good care of you.
That's right. We can do that 7 degrees to Kevin Bacon thing right now. Snoop Dogg covered one of Korn's songs on MTV. Do you remember that? They had like an icon thing. Yeah. So I can't remember what. No, it wasn't Korn. It was Metallica.
Okay.
Did, Sad But True.
Okay. Snoop Dogg did Sad But True.
Yeah, it was. You should look it up.
Okay. All right. So Snoop Dogg did Metallica.
Yep.
Korn did Metallica.
Mm-hmm.
Or Metallica.
That's
and
right.
Head from Korn is Sean Dowdell from Grey Daze, my drummer. They're like tight.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Because they were in Head's band before. I can't think of the name of it.
Who's that?
The band that Head was in, where he was the singer and the guitarist.
Oh, are you talking about Love and Death?
Yep. There it is. Love and Death.
Yeah.
Very
Love and Death. Cool.
Nice. So
There you go.
I think Snoop Dogg is an excellent choice for that.
I'm telling you, I have a feeling about it. I think I have the song. Next is just making sure that he gets on it and he likes it.
Yeah. Let's do that. Let's make it happen.
Okay, cool. Let's make it happen.
My next question I wanted to bring up is, you speak about bringing in like electronic dance music, even trap. what is like a genre of music that you think you could add to this that would normally not happen? And I think a good example of that here recently is like Sleep Token.
Right.
God, I don't even know where to put them sometimes, depending on the song you're listening to. And that's what I feel about Arcade Assembly is like, y'all have this chance to bend so many boundaries on this, and especially with the collaborative, outlook that you're having.
Sleep Token is a great example. I think I think it's a product of something bigger that's shifting in the music industry and as a universe as a whole. But I don't like a lot of it. Falling in Reverse is a difficult one to like pin down genre wise. They're jumping all over the place. They just did a thing with Jelly Roll. They're jumping in that rock metal, country metal thing. But so I'm not doing anything that's new. I'm not reinventing the wheel. I think that what I'm doing and feeling is just a product of where the music industry is going.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at it 30 years ago, it was very genre specific. This genre, this genre, this genre. Here are the gatekeepers. It's the big three. And that's how it was. But everything, not just in the music industry, everything's becoming decentralized.
Mm-hmm.
And look at our financial system. That's why Bitcoin took off, because people wanted a decentralized financial system.
Yep.
It's the same thing with music. I think that people want a decentralized community of music. And that's why you see Papa Roach doing things with Carrie Underwood. That's why you see Falling in Reverse doing things with Jelly Roll.
Mm-hmm.
Machine Gun Kelly stepping outside of rap and going into punk rock.
Yeah.
Like this is just something that's happening with the community, the collective of humanity. And I'm just excited to be a part of it. I do want to explore more electronic music, more EDM, infused with rock. This is a lot of fun for me because I just like things that make me that make me move. I like things that groove. And dude, like EDM are the masters of the build up and the drop.
Yep.
I love that stuff, dude.
Yes. A good example, I think, of what you're talking about is Crosses. If you're,
Oh, dude, absolutely. Yeah.
Ah,
Gino's side project.
yes,
Yeah.
so good. And I was watching an interview with y'all before, and you were discussing, live performance. And instead of having those 64 inputs that most bands have, just having like 4. And
Right.
I feel like that's what they did when I saw them live. It was just Sean was back there behind the keys and had his guitar. Chino was jumping all over the place, and it worked. It exploded. It was great.
I think that it can be done, and I think that the way that it can be done, I don't think that I really feel like you have to have a drummer. I really enjoy live organic drums.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from that, I think we could have a utility musician up there that doubles on guitar, that's on keys, things like that.
Yeah.
But dude, the industry is at a place where we can produce so much through tracks, and everybody hates the word. The rock industry hates the word tracks. But guys, like, this is enhancing the show. We're not, you can use tracks to cover up your bad musicianship. You can. People do it all the time. I've seen it. Or you can use tracks to enhance your show and bring in elements to the show that wouldn't exist with a guitar or a bass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so we can bring in some tracks and really have some fun with this and be able to put ourselves in Vegas at the Omnia or Tomorrowland, or go do a Coachella, something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I like to throw in little weird questions and stuff because
Love weird questions.
You never know where they go. But what's like the strangest thing that's ever inspired a song for you?
The strangest thing that's ever inspired a song for me. Ooh, I like a song that I wrote.
Yeah.
I will tell you, that it's kind of strange. It's kind of like a 60 minutes story. But I don't know if you saw the origin of where Nothing's Real came from. But
I didn't.
oh, okay. So
I would love to know that backstory.
this is the story. So the song was actually written a couple of years ago. It started a couple of years ago.
Okay.
I had a business partner that was involved in my music business, a few other entrepreneurial businesses that I have, and he was a close personal friend, I thought. And he ended up stealing $250,000 from me and disappearing.
Good.
And this tanked my businesses. It ruined my record label. I couldn't release music anymore. Like facing bankruptcy. And he took off and disappeared. And the more I dug into it, the more I found out that he had actually created a global Ponzi scheme. And it wasn't just me. He actually stole money from around 40 people, and totaling around $4 million that he stole from people, from victims around the world. And the more research that I did, the more I found out that he spent the money on luxury goods and traveling to Kirks and Caicos, private jets, the most expensive apartment in the Netherlands where he lives. And I actually was so well documented with all of my business dealings with him that I caught him. And I was able to hire a lawyer in the Netherlands that sued him, froze his assets, and the Dutch government came in and declared him bankrupt. And they're in the middle of trying to find any money that he didn't spend. We do think that he hid money in offshore accounts. And so the Dutch government is in the middle of finding all of that out right now. But the inspiration for Nothing's Real came from this scenario where it's like, I lost everything because of this person. I lost like all of my abilities to grow businesses and release music, and I was devastated. And I thought my life was over. I had ruined my family's life with, losing all that money. And a friend of mine called me, and I told him what happened, and he goes, "Oh, mate, I thought it was going to be something big." And I said, "What are you talking about? That was $250,000. This is my life." He was like, "Money's money. It's not real. Money's not real. What's real are the people around you that love you and care about you."
Yep.
I was like, holy shit. Nothing is real. That money that I lost wasn't real. That friendship that I thought I had, it wasn't real.
Good.
And that's where the song actually came from.
I love that story.
Yeah. Crazy shit.
It is. But I love how a negative situation can turn into a positive. And that's exactly what's happened here. So
Yeah.
thank you for turning that around.
I mean, it was really the words of my friend that kind of put it into perspective, because when you do something like that, there's a lot of shame that comes with that. Like, and a lot of it's just like, how in the world did I let this person take advantage of me and the people around me?
Yeah, exactly.
But my friend really helped me out with that.
Good.
Yeah.
Man, wow. I wasn't expecting that sort of story to my question, but it worked out perfectly.
I think so. That's a good question.
So, is there anything in the works for Grey Daze in 2025?
Yes. When does this air? When are you launching this?
Probably within the next 2 weeks.
Cool. So within the next 2 weeks, Grey Daze is announcing that we've written music and we're releasing it in 2025. The first one's going to be released in late January.
Uh-huh.
First song that we recorded, it's called Fake Little Lies, and we're going over to Europe to tour the new single. And this is a big deal because we purposefully did not release any new music for the past 2.5 years that I've been involved with Grey Daze, because we just wanted to celebrate the music that was already created and go around the world and make sure that everybody had a chance to celebrate this music with us. And so now we think that this is the right time to go ahead and release new music in honor of Chester, but with me as the vocalist. And that is coming out in late January. And then we have another single coming out after that.
Very exciting. I'm looking forward to hearing that.
Thank you.
Speaking of Chester, Lincoln Park, what's your take on Emily joining and the band doing what they're doing now and just exploding, it seems like?
Yeah, of course. I mean, they're exploding and they're doing a phenomenal. Emily's a great singer. Mm-hmm. She's a fantastic singer, always has been. Dead Sarah was awesome. I think that Colin was a great addition as a drummer, and Mike is fire as usual. You got a lot of people that just don't like it and are upset about it. And I think if I could put words to it, I think that the reason why they feel a certain kind of way is because there is an emotional depth that is missing from version 2.0.
Yep.
And like, you're never going to get Chester again. This is something that will never happen again. And even the people that I talked to, they're like, I know it wasn't going to be Chester, but there is something just emotionally that may be missing from it. And I was like, maybe so. Emily is a different person with different life experiences, and Mike is in a different place than he was when Hybrid Theory and Meteora came out in Minutes to Midnight. And so I don't know if you can expect it to be something that, you can't compare it to that. But I get what people are saying. There is an emotional disconnect with a lot of the fans, but on a musicianship level, it's pretty tight, and they're doing just fine.
Yeah, they're definitely selling out shows, and I think that every festival in 2025 that there is, which is
for them. I mean, they're crushing it, and like, I think Mike deserves it.
Yeah. You put in the work, it'll come back to you,
dude, for sure. And he's always has been, always will be a good songwriter.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
In your opinion, what is the biggest misconception of the music industry?
The biggest misconception about the music industry is that we're all rich and famous and rock stars.
Yeah.
And it's really funny because people do think that as soon as you have a certain level of success that you're just rolling in money. And it's just not the case. Like, there's the music industry is very hard to make a living in it now, especially now where streaming, you're making pennies, and you hear a lot of legacy acts that are talking about how difficult it is to make money now versus whenever there were physical albums. And so it has forced all of the artists to go out on the road and make the majority of their money out on the road, which means that everyone's out on the road. And that creates a lot of competition. It kind of dilutes guarantees and payments and ticket sales at times. And so the hardest part about all of this is how to make a living at it and support families. And I've been blessed to be able to do that, but there's a lot of struggling musicians out there, and musicians that we all know and love, that's just having a really hard time financially navigating through this new music industry. Yeah. And I think that that's the biggest misconception, is like, no, it's actually, like, if you saw our royalty checks, you'd probably be glad that you chose an accounting.
Yeah. My fiance is actually, she owns her own accounting business, so that's hilarious.
Yeah, she's smart. I mean, that's the thing. We all have to have other entrepreneurial endeavors.
Yeah, definitely. For me, and I'm sure for you and every other musician out there, the love of music and playing just hits so much differently that sometimes, nothing's real. The money doesn't matter. It's not real. And
Yeah.
it's the effect you get from it. Hearing just one line or one riff or something can like change your entire day.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. Like, music is something that people need, and on a vibrational level, and it's never gonna go away.
Mhm.
It may look differently in the future, and but it's not, and it is and always will be a struggle to be an artist, to be a musician. It's tough, but I wouldn't trade it for anything, dude. Like, that's the irrational side of me, is I do understand business, and I'm like, this is the worst possible business that you could have gotten yourself in. But the love of it surpasses any type of rationale in my brain.
Yes.
And it's just like, this is what I'm going to do, and I will make money at it. And it just, like, I'm going to speak it out into the universe, and the universe needs to just meet me somewhere, because this is what I've chosen.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it also speaks to something that, especially me growing up, we're the same age, so you probably are going to understand this. Mental health was a huge thing that you could not talk about growing up. If you did, you were crazy, or you got sent to a doctor and they put you on all these meds and you're just walking around like a zombie. And for me, music helped me stay sane for
Yep.
most of my life, even to this day. And I think a lot of people ignore that fact of how important it is. And especially younger kids, when I was growing up, just like in here, my room at home with my parents, posters everywhere, and they didn't understand it. Like, why do you know so much about this person, this band, or this song? And I feel like society is starting to come to terms with how important the arts in general are for mental health. And it's helped me. I'd like to know if it's, helped you.
I mean, it saved my life. It's interesting that you say that, because when we were growing up, all the craze was to blame Marilyn Manson and Korn, and Limp Bizkit and all of these new metal devil worshipping, and it's like, this is why the kids are so effed up, right? And it's like, what we're starting to realize now is, no, you see, we listened to that music, or at least I did, as, oh, finally someone understands what I'm feeling inside.
Yep.
And so it wasn't a bad influence, I don't think. It was more like a release. It was a way to release the feelings and emotions that we had. That's why Chester was such a big influence on me growing up, is because he finally gave young men and women permission to feel these things and talk about them.
Mm-hmm.
And I grew up in a Christian conservative home, man. We did not talk about depression. We did not talk about anxiety. We did not talk about mental health.
Yep.
It was like, you buck up and you go to church and you say your prayers, and that's how you get healed. And in the process, I'm like, no, guys, I mean, I'm doing the things you told me to do, and I'm very miserable here on this planet. And it was something that just wasn't recognized. Music is a very important healer, and it can be a religion. It can have a very spiritual impact on you, and it did for me. The music that I grew up with is the reason why I'm alive today. Chester is a big reason why I'm alive, and I chose to be a professional musician, and that's one of the reasons why, with a lot of the projects that I go out with, we donate a portion of our proceeds to mental health nonprofits, because it's that important. It's that important that we continue to understand what this silent killer is inside of some of us and a lot of us, and try to understand it and try to save lives. And like, I'm really glad that we're at this place as humanity, to where we can talk about it, as we can normalize it, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. Chris, it has been amazing talking to you. I just needed 30 minutes of your time to just knock this out. And I'm speechless with the things I've learned about you, conversations we've had, and I would love to do this again.
Let's do this again. Hey man, this is your launch basically.
This will be my launch. It's going to be called The Noise Floor.
The Noise Floor. Well, I want nothing but success for you. You will be successful with this. You're doing good things. You're asking really good questions. This is like better than a lot of people that have done this for a while. So good on you. And I'm here to support you and all of your endeavors, my friend.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time, and I can't wait to hear new music from Arcade as well as Grey Daze.
Thank you. Both are coming in 2025.
And I got to get with Elias because he has a show, his anniversary, Painful Statements, coming to town. And
Nice.
Bro, I've never photographed Nonpoint.
Well, hook up with him. I mean, dude, he's crazy. He's a wild man on stage.
Yes, he is.
You'll have a lot of fun photographing him. But yeah, we need to have him on. Make sure that you connect with him. And yeah, man, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right, buddy. Take care. Thank you.
All right. Later.